While this isn't a new floor plan necessarily, it is different from how Jayco's done it, and I'm really curious to see what you think of the new face of Eagle trailers for 2025. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. As you probably guessed, down here in Jayco's production facilities today, I got word they had an early run of the new generation of Eagle trailers coming out, and I made a call and I got myself down in here for you so you could see what's new for 25, maybe a little bit ahead of the curve, because you know, the White Hawk 26 FK, which is a very similar floor plan to this, was a great layout. There was nothing wrong with it, but it didn't have 7-foot ceilings like this. It didn't have a full rear wall closet that was prepped and ready for either combo or side-by-side washer and dryer units totally separately. And this new generation of Eagles, they completely got rid of their floor vents. The fellow that's actually managing Eagle has been here for a couple years. He's been fighting for this, and he finally basically told the engineers, I don't care if you don't like it, this is what we're doing. But what's brilliant is how they actually came up with a heat system that's the best of both worlds. So it both keeps the floor warm, but also keeps the registers out of the floor. More on that as we go. Now, it's still basically, you know, Jayco doing Jayco things. You've got their plywood roof and floor decking with their Magnum Truss roof structure. You can walk all over that sucker, of course. You still have the hot, cold weather rated package on this. Power stabilizers will be standard here. Optional auto leveling, optional solar, but it is already prepped for solar and inverter. So if you're just going to be a park pavement princess like myself, right out of the box, okay, I just ate a gnat. Awesome. Fantastic when you're already recovering from not feeling good like I have. But if you're going to be a park princess like me, this is perfect right out of the box. If you want to be a little more mobile or spend a little time off grid, it would not be hard to add 200 to 400 watts of solar up to this, maybe like a 2,000 watt inverter. Much beyond that, you're going to be talking generator country though. I've talked long enough. Let's get inside here. Let's see what this thing has to offer. We're going to hit good, bad, ugly with everything in between because it has a fair mix of both, but I think overall it's definitely better than worse. Real quick, before we get going, I do want to mention that I'm not feeling fantastically today. You might hear me say that in several of my upcoming Eagle videos because I'm recording several Eagles today. But basically, a couple days ago I got hit with a nasty case of food poisoning, and I'm still, I probably should have stayed home today, but I'm dumb like that. I come to work. Company doesn't make me. I do this to myself, so don't blame them. You've seen this layout before. Probably. If you've been around the RV industry, if you've been looking at campers for a couple of years, you have probably no doubt seen this layout. It became very popularized initially by the Rockwood 2608 BS or Flagstaff 26FK BS, same thing. But Freedom Express and Heritage Glen, Hemisphere, Bullet, Apex, everybody and their brother has some kind of version of this nowadays. And they all do different things that I like. So what I want to focus on is not the obvious stuff. Like you can see that it has a refrigerator and an oven and a windshield. I want to focus on the areas that Eagle has done it differently. And I think one of the best places to do that is actually start from the top down. Because one of the rare qualities that I've not seen anyone else do on this floor plan before is a 7-foot ceiling. And I don't even know how well this translates to camera. But when you get in this in person, it feels significantly larger than the other front kitchen super slide kind of campers that I've been in, even though it's really not that much longer, which is kind of impressive. They are also doing a whisper ducted air system. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to shut up. I'm standing right next to the air return and the vents. Listen. So that's the fan running at high volume with the air compressor on because it's currently 81 outside and I've got the thermostat set to 65 in here to try to knock that down because I'm not feeling great, and getting overheated when you're not feeling good doesn't feel awesome. And thankfully we are plugged into full 50 amp service today, which is another thing. This is 50 amp standard, so it is always second air capable. Now, with a little bit taller ceiling, they had opportunity for a little bit taller slide that they didn't exactly exercise here, but they did maximize the window coverage. One of the catch-22s of this floor plan, just in general though, is that it has almost no campside window coverage. That's just one of the deficiencies that you kind of gotta accept on this one. they have been doing a pretty decent table and chair setup for a couple years, but you might notice how the chairs fold away. Here's the thing though, all 4 of the chairs are now fold away chairs. So there's no like primary seat. Then you don't feel like you're putting out a kiddie seat for your guests or anything like that. If you only want to use 1, if you want to use 3, it's whatever you want, however you want. And Jayco was kind of one of the brands that really was on the forefront of the carpetless charge. But again, one of the major Eagle updates for 2025 is they got rid of the floor vents, but they did it in a different way. So there are certainly other manufacturers out there with cabinet ducted heating. The trick is most of them use that flexible dryer hose vent stuff, and what they actually do is they dangle that stuff down in the underbelly. They call it a heated belly, and then they actually run a piece of that flexi hose up through the floor. That's not what Jayco did here. They're actually combining the benefits of floor and cabinet ducted heating. It's probably harder to accomplish, but they put in the effort. So you still have a traditional heat plenum in the floor between the floor joists down here, and this is a 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor. No soft floor laminated issues here. But instead of dipping down through the floor, then snaking back up from under the floor, that heat plenum runs straight through, and then they just tap into it to get to the cabinets where they can, where they need to. So you still have basically a radiant heated floor, which is nice for floor ducted heating, but you're getting rid of the floor vents and gaining the pet-friendly aspects of cabinet ducted heating. It's kind of a best of both worlds thing, and they're still able to achieve their 0 to 100 degree temp testing with this. So, you know, if it's 0 degrees outside, they're keeping, I think it's somewhere in the high 60s, low 70s in here, which is not terrible, you know. The window coverage up front here, I really like. They left this wide open, and the countertop is actually so deep because of their nose cap, they had to add that extra little shelf chunk on top. But with the power outlets, the way that I look at that, like, this feels almost like an appliance and or decoration shelf up here. But one of the other things I think is very, very cool is how they put a huge windshield off the front of this. And certainly a lot of other front kitchens out there have some kind of windshield, but not with this level of square footage. And again, I don't even know if it really has the impact on camera as I'm looking at my viewfinder that it has in person. When you see it in person, it's awesome. They also updated to this, like, I don't know what you want to call it, crazy chef sink right here, where it has all the extra little components like the sliding cutting board and the little veggie dish tray. I pulled all that stuff out so you could see how big it actually is. And I like a side draining sink like this, because if I want to put a rinse basin over here or a wash basin, like, you have a little more control over this. Plus, the handy little, you know, you put the cup on it and it goes kind of, you know, glass cleaners. Those things are handy. One of the things that some people criticized Eagle for last year was their microwaves felt a little small considering how big the RV felt with like a 7-foot ceiling. So this year they adopted a 30-foot, it's called OTR, over the range, but 30-foot, I'm not feeling good. I'm sorry. I would say stupid stuff like that anyway. 30-inch over the range residential size GE microwave. And also take a look at the stovetop. The RV doesn't have a backsplash next to the refrigerator, but you see how they gave us that like extra 6, 7, 8 inches between the stove and the side over there? That really helps. And they also included outlets, and they gave you a place to be able to set down like spoons when you're stirring your mac and cheese. Overall, I'm not upset with what I'm looking at here. We got like a larger 22-inch oven. We got the big 12-volt compressor fridge. And they actually have storage above and below theirs because you have a 7-foot ceiling. They have just physically more space to be able to accomplish that. But you haven't seen a dedicated pantry. That's what's over here in the corner. We're going to get back to that in a second. I want to zero in on the entertainment center of this real quick before we start cracking open everything and taking a look at the storage and moving on. The TV is not mounted up terribly high. Like, considering it's a 7-foot ceiling, they definitely could have made that a lot worse. We do have the little electric heat and phalanges fryer over here, which is some technical talk for Tootsie Toaster. But they changed up their stereo system now. It does have wired speakers, but it's a Bluetooth Connect system. So when you power the thing on, you have a choice between Bluetoothing to a phone or your included smart TV. And what's awesome is you'll see a second one of those panels outside, because your inside entertainment and your outside entertainment are completely mutually exclusive from one another. They are not hooked together. They don't talk to one another. You can have completely different things playing indoors and outdoors, and that's not really common in the RV industry. So I think that they get some credit there. Also, I don't know if you're aware, but the industry's had a glaring issue for a couple years of with this like fake pleather, flaky kind of stuff. It just falls apart, and if God forbid you have a pet with any sort of nails, they would just scratch the bejeebies out of it. This right here, they went back to soft touch, cloth touch. And I cannot remember I think it's called threadwear, like an 80,000 threadwear. So like if you take two pieces of that cloth and grind it together 80,000 times, it finally wears through. It's not the cheap kind of covering that you have on it. But what if you spill something on it? Well, they actually chose a sofa that has the maximum federally allowable level of basically like Scotch guarding of like protection chemicals. They use the one with the maximum allowable level so that it is more pet friendly. It is more spill protected. It does have all those handy benefits. Now this table right here, it flips up. There's a little bit of storage in there for like placemats and stuff, but it also extends out. So if you do want to use those extra chairs, you have the perfect spot for it. Now it is all lumber core pocket screwed cabinetry, but you might notice they don't have any struts for any of the overhead cabinets in this, which you can probably tell from my face. One, I'm not feeling good, and two, I wasn't too enthused by that. But look what they did under the sink. How many times in my videos have you heard me say, I wish they cut the shelf under the sink in half to give you half the space for wastebasket and half of it for shelving? That is exactly what Eagle did here. The only complaint I have whatsoever about this kitchen is just that it does feel a little bit lacking in drawers. Like you've got the one big drawer under the countertop for silverware and stuff, and that's nice. But it's a big kitchen with only a single drawer, and it feels a little limiting in that capacity, but I'm looking at it, and I don't know, maybe that's the best that they could come up with. I'm not sure, but I feel like I could still make do, and I could get by with it, but I had to really be picky to criticize them. Normally, overhead cabinets above a front kitchen like this tend to be a bit of a head knocker, but with this being 7 foot tall, I didn't experience that whatsoever. I didn't feel that was an issue whatsoever. You may have noticed the blackout window shades that you have all around this. Also, did you notice you have switches that you can reach from your seating built into the side of the slide box, plus USB charging outlets on both sides of the slide box, which is also a handy, nice feature. You may notice they also don't have any sort of peekaboo, I smell you bedroom and or bathroom doors. And these are 50 amps, so second air is going to always be capable. When you get a second air conditioner on these, it will be an additional Coleman Mach 15,000 BTU, so 30,000 BTUs of potential cooling power. The optional second air, you might notice, is not specifically whisper ducted. But again, I have that running right now because I'm plugged into 50 amp service. And if you listen, that is with both air conditioners running with basically on high fan speeds. So if you are noise sensitive when you're sleeping, this RV, it should not pose a problem for you. They also did some deepening of their bed slides this year, and they included a large breeze through like Cyclops fire escape window above the bed right here. So you have some serious breeze through and or window coverage. They also upgraded their bedding this year. They're trying to do their best to fulfill a lot of requests they've had from a lot of people. A lot of manufacturers are still using a 5 to 6 inch thick backbreaker death wafer mattress, and they've gone to an 8-inch aloe vera here. Aloe vera, by the way, sounds like the name of some kind of Batman villain that maybe hasn't hit their villain origin story. It's like, well, the bank was robbed today by aloe vera and poison ivy. But I'm a nerd, so maybe that's just where my brain went by default. I'm sure that we're not done with my nerdiness yet through the video, but you get the idea. They're trying to do a better mattress, and they're also using a larger mattress now in their Eagle series pretty much across the board. I think the smallest mattress they use in Eagles period anymore is a, I think it's called like an Olympic queen bed. So a 66 inch wide by 80 inch long. And it's a little less common, but you can actually get residential mattress replacements for it. Oh, I'm very thankful for that mirror over there. Look at the side of that stand. There's some household and USB outlets over there that I had missed previously. They're type A's, not type C's, but it's not nothing. Now, cracking open the bedroom storage here, giving you a look around. They have a 1, 2, 3 punch combo rear closet here. Thing is, you can use it as triple hanging closet space, or one of the other cool things that you could do with this, if you are so inclined, is you could put in a combo washer dryer or a side-by-side washer on one side, dryer on the other. That is a rare quality not found in a lot of these front kitchen style travel trailers. I think the Heritage Glen Hemisphere 270 FKS is one of the only other ones I've ever seen do that. Usually it means the RV manufacturer has to extend the RV a little bit, make it a little bit longer than 30 feet. I don't think this is too much past that. And with all the extra rear closet bonus storage, I would ask you, do you think the extra length on this would be worth it? Because chances are you probably need pretty much about the same tow vehicle you would need before. Now, I try to share good, bad, ugly with everything in between in my videos. I think the bathroom might be a point where someone says, you know what, you had me right up until the bathroom. And if that's the case, I hope you still hit the like button and subscribe to these videos, because I'll go out of my way to show you something, even if it isn't maybe everybody's favorite. Like, this is a radius shower. Now, with a 7-foot ceiling, and I'm a little over 6 foot tall, you can see how much space is up there. It's awesome. But it, for some folks, is tight on the elbows. And I'm aware of that, and I hope you appreciate that I'll mention stuff like that so that before you spend your money, you get a more reasonable understanding of what you're getting here for your hard-earned dollar. I kind of skipped past the toilet real quick, so let me give you my patented toilet selfie champion routine. Which, yeah, even when I feel like trash, I still talk like a idiot goofball like this. I will say that because of the harsh angulature, yeah, not a word, but you get it, of the bathroom wall enclosures, that if it was any tighter, I don't think I would have properly fit in here. However, I really didn't experience too much of an issue with it. And that is a full medicine cabinet on the wall, not just a mirror. One of the hiccups with this floor plan, though, is it really does require what I call two-stage travel access, and I couldn't decide where I wanted to start this. So I'm actually going to start back here to show you what happens when you close this bed slide, because it is a little bit deeper. It gets very bossy in here very quickly, which you're probably noticing right about meow. Now, one of the cool things here, you know, it's a full 80-inch long mattress. They were very smart about the dresser space. You don't have to like do anything stupid with the bed to close it. However, one of the things that I've been learning more about, and I've been trying to share more, is this is a rack and pinion slide. That's all this RV has. The kitchen and the bedroom are both rack and pinion slides. They are excellent slides for heavy weight and reliability. However, they are not slides that are built with the intention of you sitting in them and occupying them while they're retracted. So that bed, I can't in good conscience say, is functional in transit. You know, you could get in there maybe to pack stuff, but the cool thing too is if you needed to get to that closet being a rack and pinion slide, you could crack it open a little bit to get through there. So the back door gets us to the bedroom, although the bed's not functional, and the bathroom, whereas the front door, that basically gets us up to the kitchen space. And that's kind of the funny thing typically with front and rear kitchens of any bigger size, is they tend to be floor plans best used at a destination, and they're not as functional getting to a destination. And if you like how we help you understand that distinction, I know I talk a lot, but if it saves you from buying the wrong RV and you appreciate it, hit that subscribe button and let's get outside. And by the way, if you want to learn more about how these are put together, I believe I actually have a full walkthrough video tour of this specific facility where these are made. So if you kind of want to see a little bit more of what goes on under the skin, the video's a couple years old, but it should still mostly hold up. They haven't really changed a lot of construction. Taking a look at the weights and measures here, I will tell you, at the time that I am recording this, this model is so new that it's not even on their website. I don't even have full specs, weights, and measures available to me. That being said, going off my personal experience factors, having done this a little over 15 years, I'm going to tell you, you don't want a half ton for this. Probably based on the hitch weight alone. I don't even know what the hitch weight actually is, but I know it's going to be more than what most half tons want to handle, especially once this sucker is loaded. And if you're going to go up and down mountains or something, I think you want a minimum 3/4 ton pickup for an RV like this. And depending on where you're taking it, you might find more comfort in like a single rear wheel 1 ton. I don't think you need to go diesel dually. I'm not trying to be silly about it by any stretch of the imagination, but you get the idea. You don't have a full front pass-through like you would on a lot of travel trailers. That is a hiccup that you run into on a lot of front kitchen RVs. I like how they still stuck to their guns, though, including that full dedicated docking center. That's kind of a nice find. And does this bother anybody? Last year, these had a full top-to-bottom nose cap. This year, it's a 3/4 nose cap. But that never bothers me because I still feel like, yeah, I'm getting the nose cap. And they put an expansive windshield in here with the, what is it? Hey, Star Wars nerds like me. Is it Plo Koon was the guy that had the orange lightsaber? Isn't that who that was? I can't remember. Anyway, the dude with the octopus-ish hair. Anyway, you've got the cool lighting on the side there, but not the dot dot dash Morse code style. But by going with 3/4 cap, you still maintain a diamond plate stone guard. But the thing is, they actually extended that down because they have an integrated A-frame on a lot of their Jayco trailers. That gave them more frontal real estate to cover with that stone guard. So you actually have more protection there. 30-pound propane tanks is also something you don't often find on RVs like this. And apologies, we're literally under the roofing scaffolding right now. They were kind enough to pull these inside and power them up for me, so I'm not going to complain. Actually, I think it'd be cool if you like this footage, leave a little note that says, hey, thanks, Jayco, for setting the nerd up today or whatever, or just be like, shut up, nerd. I don't know. Either way. This right here, I don't know that I love that it's strutted. I respect that it's strutted. I love that it's double strutted. If you're going to do struts, I think double's the way to go. I was told that their engineers were worried about some kind of coding violation. So if that was a fire escape window, you can't cover it with a baggage door for safety purposes, but that's not a fire escape window. So I think I would have liked it more if it totally flipped up out of the way, but it's better than nothing. Now, it is a funky side saddle pocket storage. It's not a full pass-through, but you know what I thought about? That could be really perfect for like picnic table stuff. Also, let me shed some light on the situation here. Hold on, there's my flashlight on the camera. Take a look up in here. Couple things. You've got outside entertainment hookups, outside TV hookups, and you see that Bluetooth stereo panel. That is completely separated from what's going on inside. So inside and outside entertainment on this RV are 100% separated. So if you're watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger get to the chopper, shoot 'em up in the middle of the night inside the RV, you're not going to have to worry about accidentally disturbing the neighbors, which is, I think, a lovely thing. And did you see that water filtration system there? That's something very few other travel trailers offer. I think Rockwood does a little bit of that, but it's a triple filtration system that, if you're hooked up to just dirty, gross park water, or you're pulling God knows what from your fresh tank, it's an amazing triple level purification system. And I'm at a terrible angle to display it. I can't really fully open the awning, but notice how the entry doors, I left them swinging wide open, and you can still clear the awning arms. So, you do have the double big handles. You have the double stable step system down here, and that is eating into your awning space a little bit, certainly. I want to be real about this. I try to be fair and candid. But what's great is if it's a rainy day and you're popping inside and out that door, you're not going to get spritzed in the face. And that's a really nice thing. I also really love the fact that, yes, they have outside speakers, but they put them in the skirt metal. They're not actually running a 6-inch hole in the side of your laminated sidewall that is now a potential leak point. And God forbid you need any service work on it. It's a real pain in the neck. Now, things like the BM Pro Smart Command System, things like the TPMS, those are still available. They still standardize Goodyears. And actually, this is shocking. People do not, I think, pay enough attention to this and appreciate a better suspension on a travel trailer. I think that's one of those things that a lot of manufacturers peel out because people don't understand the value of it. If you want to keep your RV out of the shop, you want it to have better suspension. There's a huge correlation between better suspension and reduced service rates. I'm tripping on tools as I walk backwards through this factory space here. I guess I should really pay attention to what I'm doing before I, get poked by something sharp and then have to check my tetanus records. A lot of people think, by the way, this is has nothing to do with RVs. This is the real reason people tune into the videos, right? The random squirrel trivia, I think. Did you know you don't like, people think, oh, I got stabbed by a rusty nail, so I need a tetanus shot. Did you know that tetanus has nothing specifically to do with like rusty stuff? Tetanus is anytime you get a dirty wound. That's where tetanus actually applies. So, hey, the more you know. Look at the taillights. They're using this is new for 25, like toy hauler fifth wheel taillights on this, and they're not mounted all the way down at the bottom. And they're way off to the side, and they're vertical. They're easier to see. They're less obstructed, especially when you start using this 2-inch receiver hitch off the back of the thing here. You can see that sticking down below the bottom. If you want to put a bike rack or something, it's really hard to block those taillights so the other motorists on the road can see what you're doing, which I think is terrific. They are including a factory 250-pound rated ladder, where so many other manufacturers are not. This is a 60,000 BTU tankless on-demand water heater. What that means is that it's capable of raising the ambient water temperature from either the park line or the water that's in your fresh tank by up to 59 degrees. A 40,000 BTU water heater can get you at most about 40. So that's the difference there. Now, it doesn't have a full pass-through, but you saw it had a miniature junk in the trunk storage in the back. You've got a little bit of storage space under your headboard, but you do have storage under the bed as well. They kept those things separated, like The Offspring, if you're familiar with that song. One thing I do want to mention, though, is it looks like this is a dual-headed sewer monster. What I'm not sure, because this floor plan is new and I've not had an opportunity to verify, is what drains out of where. Because this actually looks like this is pretty much the kitchen and bathroom black and gray, if I'm reading it correctly. I could be wrong, but it looks like that might be bathroom and kitchen black and gray. And you may have only the washer-dryer outlet in the back. Now, you're thinking, well, that's at a terrible spot. How am I supposed to empty that sucker out? Don't forget, up front here, this is actually where your pull valves are located, and it actually has 2 gray water pull valves right there. So that really leads me to believe that all of your holding tank water is draining out from the hookup under the slide. So you get there, you hook it up, and then you can use your pull valves in that docking station to empty things out. You don't have to crawl under the slide. And when you get ready to unhook, you close the slide first so you're not crawling. And the funny thing to kind of think about, the Eagle trailers are the simplest member of the Eagle family. When you start getting into even the small and then the bigger Eagle fifth wheels, things start getting pretty smexy pretty fast. It is a brand that definitely has a lot of range now. I think more range now than they've ever had before. And I'd be curious to know, what do you think about their execution of the front kitchen bed slide concept like they put together here? And to help you with that, I'm going to leave you some links in the video description. There's going to be links for things like pricing and availability. There will be links for things like, let's say you want to look at the Rockwood or the Freedom Express or any of the other similar built floor plans out here, like Heritage Glen and Hemisphere, also have a very similar layout. Any of those that I've recorded, I'll leave you links. I'd love it if you checked out 1 or 2 of those. Let me know which one you would go with and why. And until next time, thanks again for tuning in. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.